The title for this textbook, United States History, Sometimes United, Often Divided, is an appropriate title because the textbook will focus on events in American history since 1865 to the present that sometimes divided or united the nation. The attack on Pearl Harbor brought the country together with the goal of preventing the war from reaching American soil. Many American men left their jobs and enlisted. And so, for the first time, women made up a huge part of the workforce, filling in for men while they were away. African American, Hispanic, white, and Asian women often worked side by side. While the attack on Pearl Harbor had a unifying effect on the country, it equally created a division among Japanese Americans and everyone else. There is no doubt that President Roosevelt's words triggered mass suspicion of American citizens of Japanese descent when he announced, "The Japanese government has deliberately sought to deceive the United States by false statements and expressions of hope for continued peace." Japanese Americans were forced into internment camps by Executive Order 9066. As unbelievable as it may seem that camps like this could have ever existed in the United States, it would seem that history indeed has a way of repeating itself. In 1996, laws were passed that expanded the ways a person could be deported from the United States, and this doubled the amount of people being deported daily. From then on, the immigration detention system continued to grow at an alarming rate until the Trump administration took over in 2017, causing an unprecedented acceleration of people being detained. Clara Long of Human Rights Watch states, "We went from the low thousands to 40 and 50,000 people detained per day." Much like the effect President Roosevelt's words had on the nation, triggering suspicion against Japanese Americans during World War II, President Donald Trump's words have repeatedly done the same kind of damage and much worse. Throughout his 2016 campaign, he made racial derogatory statements against Mexican people, saying, "When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists." These kinds of comments have emboldened prejudiced people in the U.S. and reawakened a sense of superiority that many hoped had disappeared as a result of the civil rights movement. Indeed, racial discrimination has consistently played a major role in creating division among the American people since its founding, but it is most certainly not the only cause. The AIDS epidemic of the 1980s sparked massive panic throughout the United States. It was referred to as the gay plague because the mysterious disease spread much faster between gay men, and so it triggered an anti-gay reaction across America. It took many years for the country to see the AIDS victims as normal people, but eventually, through heroic efforts of activist groups like ACT UP, enough national media attention was drawn towards the victims of AIDS to create a shift in perception and begin to quell the nation's fear. After years of substantial cultural and political developments, same-sex couples began to lead more open and public lives and establish families. In 2015, the Supreme Court ruled in favor of gay marriage. In the landmark case Obergefell v. Hodges, in the majority opinion delivered by Justice Anthony Kennedy, he described the nature of marriage. Through its enduring bond, two persons together can find other freedoms such as expression, intimacy, and spirituality. This is true for all persons, whatever their sexual orientation. The United States was finally united in support of the same people it had once feared just 40 years earlier. The images proposed for the cover of the textbook, United States History, Sometimes United, Often Divided, are representations of times in American history when the nation has divided among itself only to find another cause to unite over. Moments of division and unification are evidence of a nation exercising a healthy democracy. It is what makes this country so strong and appealing, because no matter what this nation faces, it has always found a way to overcome, united and despite differences.